So how you doing?
Very good. How about yourselves?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks to everybody coming on. I figured we have Mike Ahsley on would be a treat for everybody, especially Milos. Milos is he Milos. How
Yeah,
long
yeah,
did Mike win the first? No, first was Rich Barry. Mike won the second Arnold Classic, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
1990. And then I met Mike on the stage, Night of the Champions, 91.
Oh, so you guys competed against each other at one
Yeah,
point.
yeah. He kicked
Look,
my,
he look excited.
I'm gonna tell you, he kicked my ass.
How bad was it?
Nah,
How
But,
bad?
man.
I run into Mike all the time. I mean, the last 5 years, Arnold, Olympia, he's regular there. You just don't, walk around as much as I do. So I had a chance to sit right next to him. And then after every prejudging, I ask him what he thinks. He usually has same views as we do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I always talk to Mike too in the audience.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, Chris. Definitely.
Mike, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I'm 65.
65. Look how good he looks.
Oh, way. Yeah, that butterbell slow, boy.
Yeah.
That butterbell slow. That butterbell slow, Mike.
No, I mean even the way he moves and he walks and everything, he doesn't show age at all. I mean, it's just good to see that there are bodybuilders from way back when, that are still walking upright today and do everything they have to do and they still look great. And, maybe, I don't know, but there was always, and this is the question that I have for you, and this is probably the only question I have, is you were always talked about as probably one of the only one that was a lifetime natural. Is that really the case? Was that the case? Were you always are you a lifetime natural?
Lifetime natural. Still, even at this age, not even hormone replacement. And I just did blood work on Tuesday, and I can tell you it's going to be good numbers.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, even in my late 50s, my 60s, I still have some abnormal numbers.
So
My
wait,
life,
I'm sorry.
huh?
Go ahead. Your life?
I said my lifestyle is very strict, and I think it all starts out with, the card you get dealt from your mom and dad. I like to put it that way because, I mean, I was a 9.5 pound baby. That was not a small baby on an average. And, I always did some form of exercise once I learned what it is. I mean, I ran track and field, played soccer. You know how I was born in Jamaica. And so we didn't sit still, it was
Mm.
just a way of life. And
If you're Jamaican, you're super fast.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Touch.
there's something going on over there.
I do.
Do you ever test your testosterone? Do you know what your level is at 65 years? I would really wonder what your testosterone level is at this point,
well,
or in the 50s.
the last time it was 9 something. I mean,
That's all.
yeah,
Okay, that
no,
explains everything.
Hey, Mike,
That
let me
ex-
borrow some, dog.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
That explains everything. So you naturally always had naturally high testosterone.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Like, yeah,
Chris, for 900, what do we have to do for that?
shit.
Ooh,
I'd do a whole lot for that.
200 a week.
I've never seen that on
at
myself.
least.
Yeah.
At least.
Hey, but Mike, I always knew you were natural because I never saw you go up and down in size, and I never seen you change out of what you were. You was always really consistently looking that size and those cuts. They were always there. All the definition was always there. That's what bodybuilding, made me love bodybuilding is seeing like the anatomy chart come to life, and each and every muscle group is developed.
Yeah. Thank you. I think one of the key things is, lifestyle. I mean, when I got out of high school, I went in the military and I was on the powerlifting team. And I think the powerlifting and bodybuilding, I did the powerlifting just so I could get to work out because if you're on a powerlifting team in the military, they give you separate time that you can train with the team. And so I did that. And then, of course, my bodybuilding stuff, just intertwining. Now that these guys are calling it power building and all these different names. I just call them for what they were. It was powerlifting and bodybuilding, and I merge them. And I think that was conducive to helping me with the development also.
Yeah, Mike, as soon as you turn pro, I do know that you won one show like Detroit Pro. Like you went straight from the amateurs into the pro victory, right?
Yes.
And that's what qualified you for the Olympia, right?
Yeah, I went to Detroit Grand Prix, but also won the World Championships, and so that was the year they tested the World Championships also. I won that, and that also qualified me for the Olympia.
Yeah, that's right. So you play second at the nationals, and then you won the World Championship.
Yeah.
That's I mean, kind of Ronnie Coleman's story too, right? I believe year later. But listen, this is what I'm going to tell you. I was approached a million times about, people, oh, come on, do you believe? Do you believe? Mike? And say, I absolutely do believe, right? Because there is something. Paul Jean Guillaume was another guy, I'm
Yeah.
sure that you know, and he trained my gym. I've seen the quality day in, day out, training twice a day, 6 days a week. Melvin, I don't know if you saw him back
Yeah,
there.
I remember.
But
Derek,
that
he
was
was crazy.
that same kind of quality, rock hard dance, natural skin wrapped around, right? These are kind of things. You guys are not the big guys, but you created that illusion. But I think the biggest compliment you can ever get is being accused when you are not using it. And on that note, I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of comments below once you post this video. No way, no way, no way.
Yeah.
So you chose to go against the fully loaded guys, and you were natural for quite so many years. You see, I think you kind of stopped like 93 or something, right?
Yeah, 94 wasn't it?
Was that because you realized, okay, to play with these big boys, then I would just have to do what they do, and you're not willing to take it?
That's right. One of the things is when they started testing, I thought it was going to continue, and it didn't. And so I tried for a while because I felt my angle of, I got a lot of guest appearances to natural shows. So I did get a lot of work, probably more than some of the guys that even placed higher than myself in other events. And so, being that one guy that was the controversial guy, I got a lot of work in Europe and in the United States. So that worked well for me. And then when I came to that junction, I just decided I didn't want to go that route, and I just decided to move on. But people are saying whether or not I was natural. I don't know if you guys recall. I made a challenge and no one took it up. I says I'll pay anyone if they give me a
10,000.
drug test. I'll pay them $10,000
$10,000.
if I fail that drug test. And no one ever did it. No one ever challenged me. And then I also said, if I failed the drug test, I'll pay them. But if I pass the drug test, they pay me 10 grand. No one ever challenged me. So if to me, talk is cheap. If someone really think I was using something, they had a lot of options to test me, and no one ever did. And
Sean Ray tried to test you, but
Well, Sean,
But
Sean and
imagine,
John too.
but guys,
Sean messed around and
imagine,
found out.
yeah, imagine if somebody would have said, okay, I hear it's like 10,000, and they would have tested you. Because think about this for a second. If you are in your 50s and 60s and you up to 900 naturally, how much were you in your heydays? Now imagine you take your testosterone and your testosterone comes back 17, 1800 in your 20s. How do you going to... Is it possible? Yeah, of course. I mean, he would be. I mean, it had to be at least 1,500.
No, the highest I've ever seen for myself was 1,300.
Yeah, but
So Chris, you're right on it. That's the highest I've ever seen.
That was a bad week.
But I don't think testosterone alone really drives the outcome of a physique. I mean, there's a lot of guys with high testosterone that still doesn't really do. I think it's a combination of things. So even though people just put the emphasis on that, I think there's a lot more to being a complete bodybuilder than just hormone levels.
yeah, but like Chris mentioned, if you're natural, you know, because there's no fluctuation. You look good all year round, and that's probably why you got all these guest appearances, because they call Mike Ahsley. He's going to be in shape. Don't nobody want no top pro that's totally off, bit of fat belly coming to a show to guest post after 200 in shape amateurs just got off stage. That's why you're perfect for appearances.
Yeah,
Yeah, it worked
Mike,
out for me.
we don't want to get you in a bad discussion that something that maybe you don't want to discuss. But I think you should be most proud of the fact that you endure your whole pro career without slipping. Because Ronnie Coleman, obviously, we know after years of being there, being beaten by the guys in 1995, he chose to do it. As far as I remember, Kai Green at that New York Pro that you did, Dennis, when you play second to Branch, apparently that was his first time that he used it. He competed for a bunch of years. Derem Charles, I believe. There's
Derek.
John Gilliam.
yeah,
Gilliam was a
under
beast.
the pressure.
John
Huh?
Paul Gilliam. Is that how you say his name?
He never did.
Jean-Paul never did, as far as I know.
John Paul.
I don't think he ever
Guarantee.
did.
Listen, he would not take an aspirin for a headache. No, I kid you not.
I believe you on that. Paul is just
Yeah.
Paul. He always talks about the Asian striation. They can't touch him. He did. He was not. He challenged people just like I did.
Yeah.
Do you
So
do you still speak with him? Is he still with us? I haven't heard anything from him for a long time.
yeah, I haven't heard anything from him. But for as long as I knew him, I would vow for him that he's another one that I knew that.
Man, I used to love his thighs, man. Oh my God. I was like
And he was.
that inspired
But you,
me.
oh no, Mike has some
Know
guys
him.
on too. I remember my first
Know
conversation
him.
had him with him, and Mike walks up to John Brown, and I was following John Brown like a puppy. So he's like, "You want to meet Mike?" I was like, "Yeah, I want to meet him." Walked me over to John. The first thing came out of my mouth, I said, "Come on, Mike, man, you ain't taking them pink pills." And Mike looked at him. Mike looked at him, and I knew it in his face. His face said it all. He's like, "John, now." He's like, "Oh, come on, man. You even take a pill, a little edible, a little something. Come on." And I'm listening to all this. And Mike's like, "Man, I ain't never did that." He goes, "Yeah, you probably the only one that's doing it." So I knew then, all the way through his career, he didn't take anything.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
about those abs? Chris, we pride ourselves with our abs, but you're not
Mike has Mike
worthy.
retarded.
Ashley, man.
Mike, did you train your abs, or this is another just natural thing that you're blessed with? You were like baby abs already when you were 1 year old.
Yeah, I will say I did train. I didn't train that midsection also, and I think I don't know. You guys were doing an interview recently, and people were talking about whether you train your abs or not. And one of the things we got to think about when we squat, we're training our abs because the major thing that area we're bracing. So if we're bracing the midsection, when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, when you're doing all these various movements, you're firing that whole complex. So when someone says whether or not we train our abs, there is a portion of it that's defined as a specific movement where you train it, but there's also a portion of it that comes from just other activities like you do. It's no different than if you're doing a back workout, you're training your biceps when you're doing a pulling movement, even though you're training your back. And if you're doing like a seated row, you're also training your posterior delt and the long end of your tricep. We could go on and on. So it's not like it's just an isolated area that we have to train or not train.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike, when was the last time you see somebody with the freeway squats in any of the gyms?
They ain't doing it.
You don't see people no more?
They ain't putting it on their back at all, D. They not doing it, bro. They
When
not
I
doing
see
it.
it, it's like seeing a Santa Claus. Like, oh, yeah, I'm just, looking for a gift.
Chris, really?
They're not doing it.
No.
People don't
You
really
see,
barbell
and-
squat.
In the gym over here, you get some people doing some heavy stuff across the back, but it's a lot of machine.
I'm just trying to think.
I don't really
Hey,
train
thank you,
people.
Dennis. When was the last
I
time
seen Hottie get down on the
I
spot.
don't really train
yeah,
people
yeah.
on a
Listen,
barbell squat.
Iranian guys would do it
But-
for.
But
Iranian guys would choose the most hardcore exercises. This generation that they go to the gym and trying to pick what is the easiest thing that can, entertain myself and look like I'm working hard.
If you think,
I'm even ashamed to say it.
if I think about it,
The exercises, the easiest exercise they can do, right? And then with this angle that can look good, right? And post on social media. It's ridiculous.
I'm glad I grew up in the era I did.
But
Because
why? I mean, we sit
it's
here.
hard. You
We
know
sit.
why,
We
D.
sit here. We sit here every week and we break people down. Sometimes we have to be honest about certain physiques, and then, most of the times it's quads, and then when I think about it, really, I mean, every time I see someone in the gym squatting, it's mostly a power lifter.
Yeah, if he walks into the gym.
Depends. It depends on what gym too. I mean,
I
three
would
different
say
times. Go ahead,
I
man.
would say it depends on the generation too, because I mean, when I got involved in bodybuilding, part of the whole program is always squatting. It's like a foundation of it. And when you think of it, technically you can squat and you don't really have to squat. You can do a split squat, and it's still torch your quads pretty good. So, it just depends on the person and what their goals are.
I don't know. I never considered the leg workout without squats. I mean, that was like impossible. It's like, okay, why skip the king of all the exercises, right? That gave us the base. I mean, Melvin, you remember, back in the day, there is no ways out.
No,
But
you ain't getting
here's
out.
my most important question for you that I want to say. Okay. I know that Jean-Paul Guillaume trained 2 times a day, 6 days a week. I watch him because it was personal trainer in the gym that he trains. And so I watch him and I say, God damn. Now, with all this overtraining thing, and then naturals cannot train as intense or as frequently as loaded guys like us, right? He did. I'm curious if you did the train with high frequency, if you train maybe sometimes two times a day, how it was?
It's kind of funny that you said that because yes, I trained 6 days a week and I did train twice per day. And the point I will say to that is it just depends on whether you recover or not. So it depends on how much volume you do and whether or not you're recovering from it. Because if someone is just going to make this universal statement that you can do this or you cannot do this, it's a little farce because you have to first say, how many sets did they do? How many reps did they do? How much was the load? What percent of their max were they doing? But I did double split. I went in the morning first thing and I trained at 6 in the morning and then at 2 in the afternoon. And JJ Marsh, myself, and Vinny Comerford, we were in the same gym back in Arizona when I was competing. And I mean, we used to see each other in the afternoons, but I just respect people's views and say, if that's what you think, it's okay. But the most important thing, why they even talk about volume and the whole aspect of what's appropriate, is whether or not you're recovering from it. And then the other thing is how much quality is each set that you do. Because, some people, they don't really push themselves to a certain proximity of failure. And maybe in that case, they can, they just do a bunch of sets for sets for sets. But if you're doing quality and you're not doing an excess amount, people can recover.
Yeah,
As
and,
research
and I
has
think we
shown.
all, I think we all train twice a day. Sometimes 7 days a week back in the day. But recuperation does help and does help you improve. But I think we all did that. I mean,
Yeah.
we had to
Yeah,
be like,
Normal.
I
we
will
were,
say, I will say a lot of the information today is very good. A lot of the science, because they're actually looking at competitors and they're saying, hey, we have well-trained athletes. But there's one thing I will say, because I remember when I was at Arizona State University and they brought me into the lab, they told me they don't get the opportunity to study elite bodybuilders. And when you have some concept of what you're talking about, it doesn't necessarily apply when you get to that elite level because the body adapts to the stress. And it's just like a roofer. A roofer will work outside 7 days a week, putting all these different forms of roofs on a building. And you could take a super fit person and they can't match that roofer because that individual, they have adapted to it and they have done it over and over again. So I'm not a big one to knock or condone one or the other. I say it's a very individual thing in some cases, but it's more or less like a guideline and not necessarily universally defining any one or the other.
Yeah, but that research, I do want to say this. You don't learn how to swim by reading about the water, right? There's constantly, we are talking about you train twice a day. All of us. Dennis, you train twice a day, right? Yeah.
In the heat, he did it with me
Yeah.
under crazy conditions. That boy.
And then Mike, Chris was working at Roxbury at night, and
And GNC in the day.
yeah, I mean, things like this. The bottom line is, as research has shown, what kind of research are you talking about? You know, gram of practice is heavier than time of theory. Go into the gym and see for yourself. You are a perfect example, natural. I argue with those guys. Oh, yeah, it's easy for me because I'm loaded. Yes, but naturals cannot train like this. I trained the same way it was natural. 7 years that was natural. I trained exactly the same way. That didn't change. I'm sure Ronnie Coleman, I'm sure Kai Green and everybody else, and now as you're confirming. Another question for naturals. Did you use high protein or you did moderate?
Okay. I went 1 gram per pound of body weight for my entire career. And I made error on the higher side, but not lower than 1 gram per pound.
Yeah.
So the actual, because there's protein in combination like rice and beans and all of those, but I'm talking about from chicken, fish, meats, and eggs and all of those. I am the nut guy that I calculated it and I weigh it and the whole 9 yards, and I never go below 1 gram because again, a professor of mine told me, she says, Michael, if you stay at least 1 gram per pound of body weight, you will never really, and that was back when they were, doubting whether or not 1 gram was adequate. And now there are studies that are saying a little bit higher than that for physique athletes are fine. So, but I've never been the guy that's 2-3 grams per pound of body weight. I've never gone that route.
How about calories?
Oh, calories was very high.
Okay, so if protein is 1 gram per pound and you're 200 something, that's only like 1,000 calories there. So the rest is, yeah. Tell us for the naturals that are listening, more carbs,
No,
more.
I ate an extreme amount of carbs that, some people questioned that. And I also went to the point because I couldn't get enough calories in me. I wanted to eat as much. I used to even put my food in the blender and drink it when I can't eat enough. And then I started using MCT oils. And I know there's some people that say, yeah, nay, I am not disputing or arguing. I'm just saying I've used it. I've consumed as much. When I was training for the Arnold Classic, I drank as much as 16 tablespoons per day. Now, that's because I wanted to augment my calories as much as possible. And if anyone has any experience about MCT oil, you drink too much of it, it'll go through you like laxative.
Right.
So I started off at half a tablespoon, work up to one. I have my logs of all of that. But yeah, my major thing was trying to augment my calories to the highest possible.
That was like 200 grams of fat.
That's a lot.
Well,
yeah, 16,
here
right? 14 per tablespoon, right?
well, it's a medium chain fat, and it actually works almost like a carbohydrate. I remember this guy John Perilla used to call it carbolipid, and the whole idea behind it is, as I get closer to the show and I could not eat enough, I use the MCT oil with augmenting my calories. So, and I never went like extremely low carbohydrate, but as I get closer to the show, I did lower my carbohydrates and increase the MCT oils.
Yeah. So, yeah, Dennis, you hearing this? I mean, moderate protein, gram per pound, but then extremely high calories, super high carbs initially for naturals they're listening. And then as he was coming closer to the show, he replaced energy calories from carbs to the MCT oil, medium chain, much faster kind of triglycerides and fats. And he was going up to 200 grams, which is 1,800 calories worth of fat. And Mike is known for peel out of his mind, skin glued to the muscle, right? I've never seen off-season picture of you. Did you ever actually go for that? Oh, time to get big. Did you ever use that?
Well, the thing that most people talk about, like bulking, I've never ever been 220. I don't know. I mean, I think the most I've ever, I competed between 196. I've never been on stage at 200 pounds. And I think the heaviest I've been was probably 210 or a little bit more than that. I was never really that heavy. So, I stayed on the leaner side. And really, I'm not going to advocate it for people, even though I did it. I'm going to say in the off season, if you're lower than 14% body fat, you're not really maximizing as much. So it's a mixed thing. I just never ever went like, I mean, I was working throughout the year. I got a lot of work. So I stayed somewhat on the leaner side when I was a competitor.
Yeah.
Hey, was there any competitor you was excited to compete against and like look to the left and look to the right? You're like, damn, like I'm up there with these guys I've been looking at in the magazines every month for the past how many years?
Okay, for me, because I went to a gym that it was called Pumping Iron. This one gentleman, he saw me at the bus stop and he says, "Man, I think you got potential." And then I was running track in high school, so he said, "We're opening up a gym, and that was in Queens, New York. I want you to come down and check it out." And when I went there, they started more or less introducing me to the whole bodybuilding world and everything. And I went right into the Teenage America. That was my first show, and I got third. Jeff King won it that year.
Shit.
But the point I wanted to make in New York City, the Night of the Champions was like the show where all the pros, when they come to New York, they'd go and they'd visit gyms. And my gym owner, I've seen Robbie Robinson, I saw Tony Pearson, and then I remember also in Jersey seeing Arnold compete. And we were always in awe. And I remember I won the East Coast, and then I went and I won the West Coast. When I went to the West Coast, I saw Tony Pearson. He was guest posing there. And it was, Tony Pearson, he was just, the Michael Jackson of bodybuilding, and he was just amazing with his posing routines.
Oh
And I
yeah.
remember seeing him there. And then it was surprising. First night of the champions, Tony Pearson was in there, Robbie was there.
Robbie, yeah.
And I ended up, these are guys that I was like, wow about, and I ended up competing against them. So
What
it
was your
was pretty.
mindset at that time, though? What was your mindset going on the stage with people that you looked up to? Did you go in with a mindset of I'm trying to beat them, or was it just I'm happy to be here and whatever happens, happens?
Exactly. The second one. It wasn't really, I mean, no, I'm a competitor all the way around. I go there, I want to win. But at the same time, there was an off factor, just being in that environment with Robbie Robinson to me is a legend. The guy's like 78 years old now and he still looks phenomenal. So, I mean, he has basically lived up to his craft. Tony Pearson, I've seen him at the Arnold's, not recently, but the past times I've seen him there, he still looks great too, and he's up there in age. So, but those were the guys, and Roy Callender, of course. Teenage America, Sergio Olivia. I sat next to him. If you talk about an awe, because he won the Mr. Olympus that same year, and that was a man. You talk about if you want to see when you talk about we look at mass today, Matt, he had the effect like Ronnie Coleman had at his best today. That's the kind of effect Sergio had on me the day I met him. It was just amazing. He always has the sleeves with the slit in there and the arms come out of it. And he sat in the theater, and it was like the seat was too small for him. It was just an awe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you still follow bodybuilding, you still at the shows. So when you look at bodybuilding today and you see those competitors today, what do you see compared to your time?
Well, these guys are a lot bigger for sure. Well, to me, it has advanced tremendously because the guys are bigger and they're still hard. We could say the guys were cut in the old days, but guys are really cut up today too. I mean, so I'm still impressed with it. I will say some of the physiques, I don't think some people are as focused on conditioning in the open as as they were back in my era. I mean, I remember guys like Danny Padilla, man. That guy was so sliced for that era back. I don't know if you guys remember him, but
Oh
Remember?
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but it's just a larger version of yesterday.
Who else? Who else that you competed with in 80s?
Hmm?
In 80s, like who was condition guy that you remember? I mean, you guys all were, but when you say Danny Padilla, who else did you competed back in 80s?
Well,
The same.
Lee Labrada is a guy that I thought it was extremely consistent, and he was always in very good shape. Yeah, he was one of the smaller ones, but he had a nice, complete physique. I mean, Rich Gaspari in his time, he was just. I mean, the guy he was the guy that they thought of as bringing the shredded glutes to because he was. I mean, I've seen him in really, really great shape. Of course, Lee Haney consistently just dominated. Ron Love was back from that era. I remember competing against him a number of times too.
What,
Just
Did you
what
off,
ever
about
compete
Little
against
Fox?
Phil Hill?
huh?
Did you ever compete against Phil Hill?
Yes, actually, Phil Hill was in.
That
I think Phil Hill was in the
New York,
Arnold.
right?
that
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
man, that guy.
Yeah. Now that's a guy that he didn't stay around for very long, but he was extremely impressive. I mean, and his mobility on stage was, I mean, the guy did splits that, I mean, yeah, Flex Wheeler did splits, other guys did, but
This guy was
this,
massive, massive,
Yeah,
massive.
right.
he was just extremely massive.
You stole his music, Phantom of the
Huh?
Opera. The Melvin did the Phantom of the Opera posing routine from Phil.
So let's go back real quick a week to back to the Arnolds, because we all watched it. We talked about it last week, but I would like to get your take on the Arnold Classic with Derek winning, Samson in second, Andrew in third, and so on. Did you agree with the result? What did you see?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it just depends on how you look at it from a judging standpoint. I think Samson Dauda had the most complete from a symmetrical standpoint, but I think Derek was in better shape than Samson was. So, it's just a matter of how well you classify that. Um, so, where that part is concerned, I mean, I was very impressed with Derek, and I felt Samson was too much of a gentleman in the prejudging and even the night show. Because I just remember like Gary Stridham was one of my rivals. And in Night of the Champions, when I chased him on stage, I think like what I mean is if you, in a show like that, it was obviously between both of them. And I just felt Samson should have gone after him even more. And, I've heard the judging was one way, wherein they were close in the prejudging and in the finals, it really separated them. I thought Samson was more aggressive in the final than he was in the prejudging.
Yeah, it was
So,
it was it wasn't as close at the prejudging, and it was close at the finals. I think
But
finals was 1 point. Right, I have it right here.
Yeah, yeah. Eight
I
seven.
thought that Samson was like, I'm Mr. Olympia. You gotta come after me type
Right,
attitude.
right. I thought so too.
felt
I
like
thought Samson was
yeah,
going in as the reigning Mr. Olympia, and he probably thought that he's winning, and he
I'm the guy.
he was thinking
can I
that.
tell you something?
And he underestimated. I think he
I,
underestimated a lot of different things with Derek that day.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. Respectfully to all the competitors, yesterday's show is not today's show. Yesterday, Mr. Olympia, yeah, respect, but in terms of competition, Derek came to battle. If you look in his face, I saw him walking even, and when I saw him walking, heading towards the auditorium, he had this eye of the tiger look. And I'm a big Dowda fan, and I was just like, Samson, you need to just start. You need to just go after these guys. Not only that you're Mr. Olympia, but today is a day that, you know. Mr. Olympia back in the fall is gone. This is spring, and I want this title. I want it before. I'm gonna fight for every ounce of it. So my whole demeanor is, it's not disrespectful to be extremely competitive. That's what the fans pay for. That's what the judges use to help define who's the winner. And I would have loved to see him a little bit more aggressive. But yeah, Derek was was in better shape than he was in terms of both of them. But then you have the question. I'm a big. I don't know how they're judging today regarding symmetry, but to me, Derek's upper body was, even though he has brought it up, it still doesn't. His lower extremity doesn't match his upper extremity.
Agreed.
Hey, so you mentioned Robbie Robinson and Gary Stridham, and I was cut from that cloth. I came from, like, Robbie's like my uncle. Gary's he was my training partner in 90 and 91. I trained with Gary, but those guys was instilling in me the mindset, the mentality of being a professional early on. I was a teenager training with Robbie, and just watching him do arm curls is just, you're just sitting there like, holy shit. It's just to see the mind, the muscle moving the way it did. It was just nuts. You feel like, that mindset carries over to today's bodybuilder, or how are you in touch with any bodybuilders mentally on a level like that, where you're speaking to them about their mindset or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I still have friends that are that were competitive bodybuilders. I have this one gentleman, and he's now competing in rowing. And one of the points that I always make is, the mindset that a bodybuilder acquires to be, at any of you guys that have competed, and there's a certain mindset you have that you can transfer to something else, and still that discipline, that drive, that eye of the tiger. It's within you, and it doesn't necessarily apply to bodybuilding only. It applies to other walks of life. I remember I went back to school, and I was struggling with this class, and I said, man, I've won the world championships. I can't let this darn thing beat me. And that discipline, because whether people can say whatever they want about bodybuilders, but bodybuilders, to do what they do and trying to transform their body, regardless of whether they use anabolics or not, there's a certain level of discipline that's applied in order to achieve that. And that same discipline can be applied to other walks of life. So, I applaud that mindset. I mean, Ronnie Coleman, you look at when he was squatting in the old days. I mean, there's a certain mindset. I mean, I've squatted over 700 pounds, so I know what it feels like. And,
Wow.
So when I see him do what he did, the way he did, a little guy like me understand what the level of determination in order to do that.
Yeah.
Let's put that in perspective. Dennis, 700 pounds, he's 200-pound guy,
Yeah.
drug-free for life.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's literally
Yes, he
crazy, and free and drug free. Yeah, that makes it even more impressive. But let me
700 pound on no
let
place.
let
No
me
joke.
get quick, real back to the Arnold, real quick, regarding. I have a question for Mike regarding Andrew Jacked in third place. How far can you see this guy go when he puts it all together? And what, if there was anything you didn't like, what was it?
I mean, I am very impressed with him, Andrew Jack. I mean, I think he brought himself up a lot in terms for his height. I think he could carry more weight, and it just depends on a preference. I still think he could pack on more muscle, and still he could be a guy that just dwarfs people because he has. When you look at him from the front, the back, he has a lot of muscle on him. So, yeah, I could see him with a little bit more weight and then, of course, a little harder. And he would be very, very competitive with the rest of them.
Yeah. We were going back and forth about him last week a little bit regarding the posing. And of course, if anybody who knows Milos will know that Milos will not let it go until he proves that he's right.
Throughout the week.
Yeah.
Hit Mike with it. Hit Mike with it.
Just to give the listener a little context here. So we argued last week. I said I wasn't a fan of the way he hits his most muscular.
Good.
No, hold on.
I said I hate. No, let him finish.
Hold on. And then Melvin also thought that it wasn't, executed the perfect way for his statue. Now, I understand where Milos was coming from, why he changed it, because he said he has those longer forearms and they looked a little, a little lanky. And to hide his forearms, he wanted him to do the most muscular, more like this somehow. Milos, show me.
I said hold the baby.
It's like
hold the baby.
Just there.
Yeah.
But he's over contracted.
Yeah, he didn't do it like Milos told him.
Exactly what Chris just said. So I think, because I don't think Milos wanted him to do it the way he did it when he first came out, because he kind of like made himself small, like this kind of.
Yeah. He did narrow himself out with that.
I tried to explain that if he would have just go this far, it's enough to hide some of that, it would still bring the triceps out a little further than the shoulder, or at least the same as the shoulder. So Milos finally, he found a picture. I think Milos finally found a picture where he's probably going into the pose, but he probably found a picture where he's right there where he should be.
I have a 20.
And with this picture, he made a point. So Milos, once again, yes, if he doesn't go as far, I think it looks fucking awesome. And he looks, because he is bigger. He was much bigger than he was before, And I still, for me, my preference would be before he get to that shot, get with both arms in the back, because that shit looks
that's
really
the Milo
good.
shot.
Yeah, that's it.
But what do you think, Mike? Let Mike answer. What do you think about the shot, Mike?
Well, I saw, and I sat next to Milo, so I saw in part of one of the earlier prejudging, and so I understand the thought process behind it. I just think if he goes too much across, it's going to narrow him out in the upper extremity. So it's a matter of. And I wouldn't be able to make a claim unless I just watch him and do different variations and say that one is it. Because you can do the most muscular, you can do it in different variations and make it impressive. But I didn't see all the various versions to say whether or not this one was better than that one. I just saw what I saw on stage. I thought he kind of was narrowing himself out just a little bit much, and that's just my. It doesn't mean I'm right, but that's what I saw. But he still looked very good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Milos, I think your pose is the best.
But I have a little pet peeve.
I was talking to Melvin for an hour yesterday or the day before, going back and forth. And Melvin is master poser. Look, I'm just going to tell you this. A lot of people are looking through the one layer. I don't like the pose. I don't like the position. I don't like how he gets into.
But it's just an opinion, Milos. It's just an opinion.
No, it's okay. But listen, I think that you are the most muscular guy. If if you say most muscular pose in history, they would think of Dennis James. I mean, holy shit, because you showed the most muscle.
Yeah, he had some really round muscle bellies
crazy.
and full.
So
Yeah, it was
as I
like
was telling
loads
you
on
guys,
his pecs. Yeah.
I love Anders' physique, but I never see him look big in the most muscular pose. And that's the first thing I told him and Chris Acedo. We have to create illusion of the size. Fill up the space. He's widest there is. Delts are like basketballs. Anyway, can you risk a quarter of an inch in to squeeze everything in? And I think it looked tremendous. I agree with you, Dennis, that maybe we should have gone behind first and then in, so order. But I guess after the ab shot, this was his natural way. He would cross it and then go up slowly, right?
One in front and one behind.
Huh?
One in
Yeah.
front and one behind.
The
Yeah.
one behind.
But conventional most musculars are not that. It's hands on hips, which he used to do, which still work for
I
him.
bet the difference.
Or this one. In any way, I'm not saying I'm always right, but you have to understand the meaning behind it to judge it. Yes, position maybe didn't look so good, but muscle did. Show me the muscle. That's the part.
If I was Andrew, I would do the most muscular. I would never do the most muscular in a way where I would hide those great abs. Them abs,
yeah.
you got to keep them abs visible, especially the most. So what he was doing was okay if it doesn't go all the way, but then
This one right here.
lean forward and show the
Lean,
abs.
yeah.
Hey, I vote on this one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
That's a good one too.
that's a good
23
one. But
years
listen, okay, let's analyze this one, Chris.
Yes.
This beautiful aesthetic shot. It's not most muscular shot. So pose is beautiful, body is beautiful, but you're gonna go against brutal muscle mass of Dennis James. He's gonna smoke you.
Yeah, but you got to use your.
But at that point, you got to give up that point,
gotta
though.
use-
Milos,
That's like saying-
Milos, I don't know about all that now. Come on.
No, but see,
Come on. Let me remind you, he called you a pinto.
listen, ain't nobody gonna stand no toe to toe with no.
I don't-
Dennis on
I
the
don't-
most
no,
muscle.
no,
Fuck that shit again.
No, but you know, at the end of the day, you got to do what looks best on you.
Yeah, it looks bad.
You know?
My thing was separation and diced out abs and separated. I got to work
Yeah,
with that.
right.
I didn't look good in a crab. My
Right.
crab wasn't.
Well,
great.
Mike had a pet peeve. What was it?
Yes.
Said he had a pet peeve.
My pet peeve was not necessarily that. It was involved with posing, and I didn't want to take you guys off track, so I just wanted to wait till you're finished before I mention it. But the whole idea of pros today, I don't think they bring good presentation to the stage. I don't know how the judging is going on, but I got to tell you, I saw Samson pose in the Arnold Classic last year, and I was so torn that he didn't do a posing routine. It's not a guest appearance. And all those guys that I saw that were doing, like, I don't need to raise my hand to ask the crowd to clap. I'm going to hit some shots that they're going to clap for. So when a person does that, I think it takes away from them. I gave Derek kudos. He went up there and he did a routine. He did a presentation and he did it well. I mean, in the classic physiques, those guys, they do routines, the majority of them. And I think when we're at that level, I mean, I remember going to a DJ and I spliced the music to the way I was going to pose. And I saw a lot of guys, yeah, Melvin, you're one of them that was, I mean, you didn't just go out there and it was entertaining, but it was not something that was just by the seat of your pants. You prepared, you went, and you were extremely impressive. Vince Taylor, I mean, Sean Ray, Chris Comer, I could go on and on. John Brown, the king, I mean, of posing. And I think these guys take away from their hard work when they go out there and they're raising their hands, asking for the audience. It's basically saying, clap for me. No, you're gonna be clapping when I hit my shot.
True.
And
It's
part.
so true,
So
though.
big. So big.
but it's not a guest appearance. So I thought at that level, somehow there should be more because you work on this great physique and then you don't show it. Because really, when you walk around and raise your hand and do things like that, you're not really
They
showing that.
don't they don't think that they have a problem because they got the body and they're not really putting a lot of emphasis on the judging.
Yeah, but we know why this is though, right? We already know why. Why? Because they don't judge the posing round.
It's still an influence.
But yeah, we get it. But that's why people don't put as much effort in there. Let them announce that it's $100,000 for best posing routine,
Man, everybody be calling
and
me.
see how fast that will change.
So let me ask this question: how did Derek get $10,000 for best poser?
Because he improved his posing.
He improved
Yeah,
it,
but
he
if
wasn't
they didn't
that.
judge it, how could he get that money?
It's a separate judgment where they just choose the best posing, the best routine.
That particular.
But that's literally only at the Arnold. In the contest, there's no more judging round for a posing routine. It's not even
Yes,
judged.
that I did learn.
Yeah.
But I still don't think
500
the
and-
athlete does himself justice by because when you do a posing routine, it lends itself to showing your physique. Because if it's close, that expression could actually make a difference in
But
the
Mike,
end.
Yeah,
but Mike,
and
we were taught the isometrics of posing is going to help densify the physique, the shape, and everything. Improves the cuts, takes out some water from between the muscle and the skin. We all preach that a lot. They don't really preach that now today.
But also we have to go back to when the posing round was judged. What did they really judge? Did they judge your creativity or they judged your physique?
Physique with movement, I guess.
So at the end of the day, how you entertain the crowd does not reflect on the scores. That will only help you for that best poser award for the most entertaining routine. Melvin you won a few of them.
With that?
I won
Okay,
7 of them.
okay. I think I'm being misunderstood because my point is, it's not, yes, there's an entertaining aspect to it, but I think when a person is doing a posing routine, they show their physique a lot better than when they walk around and throw a couple of crabs here and there and all of that. That's just my point. Now, you're absolutely right. It could be a thing where it's not being judged, and so as a result, the athletes don't put the emphasis there. But I think it's one opportunity to really, it's one thing to see the mandatories, and it's another thing to see the body in motion, showing all those, the physique.
Yeah.
And, maybe it's something all you podcasters got to say, hey, man, we need to bring this back.
You're
saying-
absolutely right. There's no argument here. You're absolutely right. They should. This is what you train and diet for. You just display your physique and you want to look, the pictures that they take, you want to give the photographers a chance to take some great pictures. And,
Absolutely.
I think they should make it mandatory somehow.
And there's another key element that is not necessarily being considered is the fans. The fans pay for these tickets to come to these events, and some of them they'll be talking about, oh, did you see so and so? Did you see? I mean, so we might be losing an element there that could actually even blow the sport up even more.
Yeah, I have a feeling that things are going to change a little bit. I really do. I really have a feeling that this is going in the right direction. That people are going to pay more money. I mean, spend more time in creating routines, and then guys like Chris and Melvin. I mean, you guys. This is there's an opportunity to teach these guys. I don't understand how some athletes, because you can really see some, and they're pros. You can really see how what they have a hard time just transitioning from one pose to the other, where they literally look like amateurish. Not the physique. I'm talking about just the way they pose and the way they get
transitions.
The way they go into poses. And I think that's something where, I mean, you spend money for coaches for this and for that. Why not
Why not
spend
spend
a
for posing?
couple of hours, spend a couple of $100 to get someone who can teach you how to transition, just to learn. Because once you got it, you got it. I don't believe for 1 second that Melvin was sitting there and practiced his routines at the end every single time from the first second to the last. I think he already knows how to go from one pose to the next, and he just have to listen to the song, and he can make shit up as he goes.
But after I had to learn it first. Once I learned
of
the
course,
basics,
you have to teach
and
yourself.
I got it down after a couple of years,
Yeah.
and then get it tweaked here and there.
Yeah,
Great
and the
song.
same with Chris. I don't believe Chris had a set routine. I think he had a
Oh,
song.
he created.
I'll set up about five moves.
Yeah.
And after that, I'm gonna freelance.
Yeah, and this is only because you're comfortable in doing what you're doing. And there's nothing worse in the world than looking at a high class, top tier pro that looks uncomfortable doing what he's doing, and they're getting a lot of money for it. So I think they should put a little bit more time into not the mandatories only, but why not just practice them with them the mandatories and have them transition from one mandatory to the next.
That's what I did.
Let me ask you all four of you.
That'd be awesome.
Give me two posing routines from Arnold Classic, all categories. Two that are memorable that V would be proud of.
From last week or from
This one.
from last week.
That's Arnold.
Classic included.
Well, you got the classic.
Logan Franklyn
Logan Franklyn.
And
and Mike Sommerfeld had a good physique too. I mean, a good
Yeah,
routine.
both of those guys did
Yeah.
Both
great.
those guys did great.
those routines, I still remember them.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Yeah.
I'm still in it.
Yeah.
They drive you to the stage and you're with them, and I could feel it. And nobody else, like you said, Mike, first, Dennis pointed out, it's not choreography and a movement in a dance or anything.
No.
Right? It is poses other than mandatories that glorify your physique. You had the
Absolutely.
8 mandatories, now you do the twisting back shots and and then you connect them with the Melvin or Chris Cormier's connection transitions. Make the sequences that make sense. You go left, you go right, whatever you do, make something that is flowing movement, not a little bit here, change the level, up, turn around, robotic. And that's what they do.
Yeah.
You have to present the physique.
They hit it.
Well,
Gotta present
I
that
think
physique.
one of the things I can't even go back to, we talk about just the mandatories. If you look back in the old days when Arnold throws a side chest, he pulls his arm underneath his rib cage, he lifts it up, he rotates back, and then he turns. It's an element of an illusion that creates even a bigger version of himself when he did a side chest. So, if you look at one that may have, great quads, but not necessarily the best, but they take that quad and squeeze it next to the other one when they do a side chest. It's like one person might look straight on, like a Ronnie Coleman could do a straight on front double bicep. But then you look at a guy like a Bob Paris, and he's got to torque himself because he doesn't have that thickness. So he has to create a more aesthetic illusion. So I think and it's an element of just talking about posing routine, but even mandatories can actually bring that physique out because, you were just talking about Mike Sommerfeld. I mean, he has to create a different illusion because he's right on the cusp of being too large for that arena that he's in right now. So if he throws some of the shots, his artistic style brings out something else that makes him look perfect in that environment. So I think it's one thing to talk about just the poses, but how the poses are executed to enhance the person's physique.
And you're right. And we just saw that with Derek.
Yeah.
We just saw it with Derek. Chris went over there in the beginning of this prep and worked on some poses with him. And he was commanded by even the head judge and all judges and the whole world that he looked better in some of the poses that he didn't execute perfectly before. So
right.
It absolutely makes a huge difference. But Mike, I know you have a 3:00 appointment. I don't want to hold you and miss your appointment or be late.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you making the time, Mike. Thank you so much. And listen, I would love to have you on again because I love, your insight of bodybuilding. When you say something, and it makes a lot of sense. and I really appreciate that. You know.
Yes.
So
I really appreciate being here. I mean, it's an honor to be a part of this experience.
I have your number now, so
Yes,
watch out.
All right, sounds great.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
Mike.
much for having me.
Thank
okay?
you, brother. We
All right,
appreciate
Big
it.
Mike.
Thank you
Hit
so
that
much.
Shot
Okay.
before you go. Hit that shot before you go.
All right, have a
Hit
great
that shot
one,
before you
guys.
go, dog.
There you go. That's the
There's the
memorable
bicep.
shot right there.
There's
All
the
righty.
bicep.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Curtis. Okay, awesome. Yeah, good man. Good cat, man. I really like what he has to say. For real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, yeah, it makes a lot of sense, man. It makes a lot of sense. And yeah, listen, to talk about this again, posing makes a difference. It does. It absolutely does. And there's no
In prejudging, yeah.
prejudging finals, it doesn't matter. Posing makes a difference. You know?
Well,
It's a
'cause I
better
think
photo. It's better with the judges. It makes your physique look 10 times bigger.
Yeah.
it makes the fans want to pay. If you lose the fans, you lose the money. You losing fans, the money's gone.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I mean, I know that he is a huge fan of Samson. Well, in Friday, maybe Samson was not aggressive. I think it's Saturday.
I thought the same, and I wanted to say something. I said, I think that Samson was exactly what you expect from a champ. You know?
Yeah.
So
My house,
yeah.
taking,
And also with the posing, because Samson is normally one of the better posers when it comes to routine, you know?
Yeah. And lay back on that.
But to be honest, I don't know if what I was doing at that moment, I don't remember Samson's routine. I think I had to go to the bathroom or something. Somehow. I don't know, maybe I missed it because I don't remember his routine. How was his routine?
Yeah, good. Normally, he gets in the static pose and twisting back shots. His Kai Green move,
But he don't utilize some of these poses to the best of his ability.
You don't hold it for 2 seconds.
The three-quarter back could be more of a real three-quarter. It could be bing, bing, but he shuts down this lower lat and don't really extend it and flex it and flare it. That bottom lat next to his hip is always condensed in.
But now it's interesting, Dennis. Okay, normal twisting back shot, you think Arnold Schwarzenegger statue, right? But Melvin and Chris are the only ones that can do like front stand twisting back shot.
And then turn from the front to the back.
With the leg position.
I never understood how they do it. I said, how the fuck are you sucking that gut enough?
Tell you how I did it.
Yeah, you're the only two guys that did it.
I watched Pump and Iron. I watched, Gunner used to make me study all those guys.
Hey, Melvin.
So when you watch Pump and Iron, you can see he said he did his ballet thing.
I
right?
watched Pump and Iron too. I watched Pump and Iron too. I watched you. I watched Chris. I still couldn't fucking do it.
Also,
I'm going to explain what I was good at. I come from a breakdancing.
You're good at talking shit.
I was great at talking shit. Yes, sir. But I was great at mimicking movements.
Mimicking everybody.
Right.
I can mimic Chris.
Everybody.
Milos, I can mimic, and I can put it all together and do it. But that comes from pop lock.
It comes from biting moves and putting it on your own shit.
Stop hating. You still mad. You ain't gonna let that leg shake go, huh?
Hating.
You're not gonna let that shake.
Well, biting.
You ain't gonna. I said you ain't gonna let that leg shake go, huh? You said I can have it.
Oh, that was from Chris?
I did never say you can have that.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was from Chris? The double leg shake?
Chris, yes.
I did that.
I never seen Chris do it though.
Okay.
Oh shit! At the Iron Man.
Okay, so Chris, Chris, let me tell the story.
Oh,
at the house, Chris says, "Hey man, I'm gonna do it like this." We were going back and forth, me and Chris. We would say, "Hey, we're gonna do this shot. I'm gonna do this shot. You do this shot, that shot." So he said, "I'm gonna do my leg shake. I'm gonna do it like this," and I watched him do it. He said, "I did it." These other shows that went crazy. I said, "Come on, Chris, let me get it." He said, "If you do it, I'm gonna be pissed." I said, "Chris, come on, bro, let me get it." He goes, "All right, I don't care. Do it whenever you want." So I waited. And I did it in 2001.
I know you're gonna try to make people think it's yours.
I never. Nobody asked. Nobody asked. Nobody asked me where I got that
I remember you, Melvin, being in my house in
anytime
Orange County, even before when we first met.
Mm-hmm.
We was in there practicing twists, coming from the bottom, from the base of the ground up to our feet. The twist.
I was helping you twist. Yes,
I remember that. And then I see guys today going clockwise when it's actually
wrong.
counterclockwise.
It's a counterclockwise.
It's not clockwise. And I see everybody trying to go, and they go like 5 steps.
Yeah.
I picked it up from Chris. Look, I picked up Milos's vacuum.
But picking something up from someone else is not a bad thing. That's how it works.
It's how it works.
So I know.
Can you imagine if we couldn't bite moves? There would be no There would be no posing routines today.
No posing at all. Yeah, I got poses from Lee Labrada, Bob Paris. John taught me all that stuff.
If you think about it,
Anya Langer. I was a big fan of Anya Langer.
So if you think about it,
I got some Anya Langer shit.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
If you think about it, the pose and everything. The pose, when we name a pose after a competitor, does that mean that he's the one that invented the pose? He probably got it from somewhere else.
No, I think he's the guy that mastered it. Like, John used to call like shots out. He'll say Ed Corning, and I'd have to hit the shot. Then he'd say,
let me claim this one. Rockabye baby.
Well, goddamn it. You
see that emoji I found with that black dude with the baby?
That's what Andrew said. I said, like, holding the baby. He says, no, it's rockabye baby. Okay.
But listen, I want guys to understand that this is just an opinion, guys. We're not trying to trash you for standing there. we're just trying to say what we see, and we just don't like everything somebody's doing. I mean, and there's a lot of people that don't like what I do, and I still do it because that's just who I am. That brings me to one point before we continue. I want to bring this up real quick because I said there was this one comment that I said I want to address live on the podcast because it's a lot easier when everybody's there. Yeah. And the comment was from Ron Gardner, and I'm gonna read this out loud so everybody can hear it. And he says, everybody's talking at the same time. Photos flashing up and down. You guys are not in your basement having a conversation after drinking beer all day. This is supposed to be a podcast, and people are watching and trying to follow what you're saying. Be more organized and professional with the crap. Okay, Hold on. Let me respond to this, because my message after that was that I will respond to this on the podcast so I can let them know how I feel. Okay, number one. Yes, it's a podcast, but this is an old school round. This is a round table. Doesn't matter, old school, whatever the name of the podcast is, doesn't fucking matter. And yes, we talk over each other because in the very beginning, my goal for this whole thing here was not to be interviewing each other every fucking week, to have a round table. I want this to be, because I'm 100% convinced that Chris right now doesn't even know there's a camera on him. Milos don't know there's a camera on him, and the same with you, Melvin. So when we talk, this would be the same situation if we will sit somewhere in a bar,
in a locker room,
having a fucking beer, like you're saying, and we're talking. We'd be talking over us. We'd be talking loud, and this is just how we are. So, and for you to tell me we can't do that or we shouldn't do that, that tells me one thing, that you either you don't own a house or you don't own a household, because you don't tell another man what to do in his own house. You know what I'm saying? This is how we are. This is exactly, guys, this is exactly the way we are when we sit somewhere at shows. We talk the same way to us. There's no different. Okay? So don't tell me that this is, you guys want to follow this. This is who we are. At the end of the day,
if you don't like the follows, you hit that button.
At the end of the day, I don't want to get, I don't want to be mean or rude to this person now to answer. I was just going to tell him, listen, if you have a problem with us being us or me being me, this is very easy. I'm sure you have a mouse or a trackpad where you can easily just click, or for instance, you can just go. We got timestamps. You can just go to a timestamp and you can just go listen to what you want to listen to. You know, I just wanted to address that. You know,
He might not know what that means.
And
He
no,
said
no,
he
no.
couldn't
Listen,
clarify.
I'm saying he wasn't.
Timestamp.
He wasn't rude, because I said in my comment I will address this in the episode, and then he said, "Please do. I love you guys, but it's impossible to watch when you guys are talking at once and the responses are all over the place." I get that, but we are not a professional podcaster. I didn't do this. I didn't grow up learning this. You know what I'm saying? We are us as friends talking to each other, giving each other shit. This is what we do.
Therefore.
This is exactly what we do if the cameras are off, because there's a lot of times in the beginning where we talked about certain discussions that we had, and then we had to finish, and then after we get back on the fucking phone in the fucking three-way call, and we continue to fucking argue. It happens all the time. And this is what you guys don't see. So please, do me a favor. Let us be us. Enjoy it or don't enjoy it. I mean, I can't force you guys to like what we do. This is just who we are. If I had to fake myself every time, this would last 5 minutes and then the real me would come out. It's just not possible. Okay, so I just wanted to address that. Go ahead, guys.
That's what's up, Mr. Gardner. We can have
No, listen. He was respectful. He wasn't disrespectful.
Hey.
And sometimes I get it, but you can't make everybody happy. That's just the
I
way
like
it is.
it. I like it when it's almost like we're, putting on a shirt over there or getting ready to go do it.
Yeah, but
sometimes to go train.
Sometimes,
and
yeah, and sometimes, and I understand everybody has fans. Sometimes someone's fans get butthurt because they don't like what you say or what you do and how I treat Chris. Sometimes I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but that's just the way it is. That's how we are.
I called you names back in the day.
Shit. No, you don't even need to take it back right now. It's too fucking late. That's it. You're 20-something years late.
It was in a magazine.
Yeah, you talking that crazy stuff?
Yeah. Call me.
They said they talk too much.
Huh?
That's it.
But I was ticked off, man. I was like, this fighter came up to me 2 years in a row. Then he said, if you're going to look like that, then he's not going to diet next year for the Olympia. I'm like, oh, shit.
And I never said that. Maybe I did. I don't know.
They say they did a lot of shit,
He
man.
pissed off.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
Mel-
Like
Mel-
you said that.
I
It
said,
keeps it
okay,
fresh.
listen to this.
But this is how
I got one.
this is how they got us. They gonna give you some bullshit just so you say something so they can print it in the magazine. So today it's easier to correct yourself because you can go on your old social media and tell people, I didn't say that. But once they put something in the magazine, you said that's what you said. They don't care.
You got 3 whole
I
months.
remember they used to ask you, D, can we quote you, D?
You got
Can
3
we
months
quote
to try to reply.
Yeah. And we quote you, get on MySpace and talk crazy.
All right, let's go. Detroit Pro coming up, and then the Pittsburgh Pro. Wow. So hey, you know what? We briefly talked about him last week. Oh, there's another thing. Someone said, wait. There's one more comment I want to address.
Said you had a couple.
Yeah. Why does Dennis always start with the division that we are not interested in? Open is the meat and potatoes. Get straight to it, man. Shaking my head. F you.
Yeah.
That's my comment.
Is that, well, you have a right to start whatever.
Listen, he's like he's saying this. He said, why does Dennis hold on? Why does Dennis always start with the division that we are not interested in?
Like what?
Like the classic last week or whenever it was last week.
He says only time.
He said exactly. Open is the meat and potatoes. Get straight to it, man. Shaking my head. Go you, man.
It's important.
We don't care what you think. If I want to talk about my nuts, I talk about my nuts. You don't tell me what to talk about. and again for you, Mr. STM, STD or whatever, 1054.
STD, what is sexually transmitted disease?
No, STM 1054.
STD, like what?
Just use your mouse, your trackpad. Just if you don't want to listen to it, just move. You can choose what you want to listen to. So
that was the first time that you ever started with classic. We never started with classic.
Yeah, and even if I want to start with bikini, so.
But can I use this opportunity to talk about man's physique?
I just want to talk about classic. One thing, I think you're right. Let's go to man's physique because something happened. Yes.
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah.
So there are all people saying how Arnold was so disrespectful and all this. What are you talking about? He organizes the contest. He puts your division into the on the show to Arnold Classic. He supports the class and says what everybody else sees, and everybody wants it. Lose the shorts. Okay, so let's discuss this. They're gonna say if you lose the shorts, it's gonna be same as classic.
No, it ain't.
It's not even close. Take
Legs.
Ryan
No
Terry.
legs.
No, just Ali that he just won. The Brandon Hendrickson. Take Aaron Banks, right, and put them in the shorts. Okay, the men's physique Olympians, right? Can they be competitive with Mike the Badass? And
Hell no.
hell no.
Well,
They're like,
Hell no. You couldn't
I
stand
mean-
Ali next to not now one of them classics.
No,
so-
no, but
their levels of development, right?
yeah.
No.
I mean, Aaron,
Mike the Badass would not make a top 5 at Arnold Open, this year. So their levels. This is why the
Yeah.
category. I understand the men's physique is very popular. Buck Chicarilla is saying, "Oh, it's the most popular class." Yeah, okay, it's the most popular class.
I think
Popular why?
most popular class now. I would say that classic is already probably right there,
Yeah.
or maybe even a little more. Now.
Yeah.
But Dennis, I just want to get to that point first. Arnold didn't say anything disrespectful. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
and he's pointing out that this is the whole physique show. It's not what I call 50% off category. Show me the upper body and nothing else,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I seriously mean it. Most of those guys train legs and they have great legs. They just don't have ability to show them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been 10 years already. How long do you need to, how much time do you need for evolution to maybe raise the shorts, show the legs,
but do you-
and start the whole physique?
Yeah, like the OP.
Do you think the want is there in this generation? The want to, there would never been a day where the girls in our division would have bigger legs than the guys. That wouldn't have happened. But now it's like you got to want to work on that lower half, and I don't think a lot of people really want to do that.
No, they don't put their work in. So to me, physique, you can say Arnold didn't say nothing bad, but physique guys
Well,
don't train legs
he-
like the other
Really?
guys. Sorry.
I mean, but
They don't.
then you see guys like Ali and also Aaron. They saying they will never do the Arnold again. So they
Anybody gonna miss-
kind of like boycotting the Arnold. So I mean,
Yeah. But let's just address that issue. So are we going to do whole body or a 50% body? Okay.
I
show
thought
or line?
but I thought
Legs or no legs?
well they judge your calves, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
You can't talk
And
about
if
it.
they do, it's even worse.
I
Why
thought-
just-
They don't discuss it.
Okay, hold on. I thought that they said that they have to, the shorts has to be tighter and shorter.
More form fitting.
Well, it's not on everybody. I see that there's a lot of people still with the big shorts. I mean,
The baggy.
Aaron Banks is Mr. Olympia, and I don't think he want to take off the shorts because he doesn't have the
don't.
biggest legs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not saying he doesn't train his legs. It's just not, he's not his legs
It's
are
not gonna-
it's
it's not
not
gonna
it's not
back-
dominant. Some people have better legs, some people don't. That's probably why they choose that category.
So
You
you
know?
saying Ali and this guy, Ali and Aaron boycotted the Arnold?
No, I didn't say that.
Or they said that they're not gonna compete.
Ali said he wouldn't do the Arnold anymore, and then Aaron is Aaron. I think I saw something where he said he's standing.
I don't
with,
know if Aaron
He's stand.
said
No. He said supposedly. I don't know if he said it in person, but he said something like he's going to stand with Ali or something similar. I saw
You
it.
can stand on it. And you can stay. That's
I don't
you
know. I don't know if he really said it. I don't know, but at the end of the day,
Is this
here's it.
disrespectful?
I think
Now, Dennis, is this disrespectful?
What?
From
It
Ali to
is.
say, show the legs?
Yeah, I think you think it's disrespectful to not show the legs? Or are you
No,
saying
you said you
Show
should
the
show the
legs?
legs.
I
And
think you
they-
should show the
they're
legs?
disrespected.
Yeah.
Why would you? So if it's a beach body, let me put it this way also. Yeah, they don't want an extreme muscularity of open bodybuilder. Okay, scale down physique, beautiful. But physique, beach body.
maybe they should wear the trunks like they had him in the beginning for classic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That part.
You know?
Or the
Exactly.
OP shorts that come high hip,
Yeah.
show the high thigh.
Kind of like I wore in my first bodybuilding show, the Speedo.
Yeah. I mean, because
Yeah.
the
Hey,
cons,
do you have a picture?
No.
Do you have a picture of that so we can put
Chris,
that?
you wore thought
I
the cons.
do. I do.
Yeah.
Let me see. Get the
I'll
picture.
find it. I got to get it. I had Speedo on the side of my first trunks.
Yeah.
Sucked.
I was using
I had the
Speedos.
biggest trunks in the whole show.
See, but in Europe, Speedos is normal. That's what you go to the pool, to the beach with. See,
Yeah.
that's normal.
So
Go to the
listen,
bo-
in Europe, when you say which way is the beach and this way is the beach, right? Your speedos, you're showing their legs. It's not like here you cover the legs. You can leave your legs at home and come to the beach without it.
Yeah, but
There's no competitor on the stage hide the legs. Period.
but again,
I don't say nothing disrespectful.
again,
yeah,
the-
nothing wrong with what he said.
I think the problem is maybe because, look, the Open, this is 500,000 for the winner. Classic,
Yeah.
I think they get
I heard of them.
classic 70,000, and in the men physique it's 10.
25.
Was it 10 or 25?
I think it's
they-
10. I think it's 10 for the winner.
Yeah, they corrected that. It's like 25.
Okay.
But even
25 for the
so,
winner
Hey, listen,
or
you
total?
were getting 10,000 for open division.
Listen.
up until years ago.
I want to say this in just to back up Arnold just a little bit. You know, he said this is bogus. Arnold is from Austria. This is Europe. We're a little more open with what we say, and it doesn't mean this is disrespectful or this means he wants to. If he didn't like men physique, all he had to do was say years ago, I don't want this category in my show. That's it. It would have been the end of it. There wouldn't be no.
212.
And just like he did with the 212 and with the figure and with the whatever. So
Women.
for him having the class already means, you know, that he's okay with it. So guys, I think I don't know. I think
Gotta
it's
relax, bro.
just,
Relax.
you know, sometimes he say things and you know he said it's not up to him. Huh?
Let's not do this. Relax and let's like brush it off. Like, what
Well-
are you guys complaining? You want a balanced physique or disbalance? Is this like
Who's
balance-
complaining? Who's complaining?
Like those men's physique guys that now their butt hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying, "Oh my God, this is so disrespectful." That's
Oh, please.
Just because he has an opinion?
Everybody has an opinion, and his opinion I agree with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you got a guys, you're not hitting no poses. To me, honestly, you know, no disrespect to no competitors, but physique,
I think
it's not
this.
bodybuilding to me.
If
It's
you
it's a model
10
contest.
years,
If
have
you-
a-
I-
they have a chance to develop legs for
Right.
10 years. Okay, so maybe federation could say, okay, listen, in 2 years' time, you guys lose that shorts. Start training.
Cheese
You
string.
need 2 years to build some legs, and that
You
means you ain't training, period.
You got
2 years too long.
You got 2 years to get better or retire. Now,
Yeah, sit down.
at the end of the day, I don't think this is warranted for them to say, you know, we're not doing it Arnold no more. I mean, he has the event, so he obviously has enough respect for the category to put it on.
Obvious.
And listen, you chose that category when you started. Nobody pushed you into men physique. You chose that category for whatever reason. We don't know. Can be because you like to. I don't want to say what Milos calls the category because that would be disrespectful. But you chose that category to stand like this, not to pose. You chose to put on the board shorts. So, you know, if somebody has an opinion and says he doesn't like it because you hide the legs, because you can literally get away with being in a wheelchair almost, you know, or because it's upper body. I get that, you know, and it's popular, and I think it's popular because you don't maybe have to do all that for the legs, but doesn't change the fact that it is popular. There's a lot of men physique guys out there with great physiques, and I appreciate their upper bodies because that's all we get to see.
I love the upper
I
bodies and lower
body's
appreciate
great.
I appreciate every single one of them, the way they you know the way they look, but it would be it would be fun to one time have them all, maybe just one round, have them come out just and see
It'll shut that place down.
see
prejudging.
to see who's
Yeah,
up
so
see who's
huh?
up to par, huh?
So,
Yeah, so
here,
that's
if you
how
guys
we
are, if you're a hardcore men's physique follower, you love it. You love the physique. You love this is perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you. So you would like it less if they have to raise those shorts up? And not,
Well, if your legs,
too?
Milos,
You
Milos,
hate
If your
that?
legs
Milos,
look like
if your legs match the body, yeah, we would appreciate it.
No, but you're a fan of the sport.
But if you
And
look
you're
like if you
admiring this, beautiful upper body, beautiful, and then I tell you, wouldn't you like to see if they raise the shorts what they look like?
I know, but I
I don't
don't.
want to see it.
No,
No,
some
that's
of them
not
guys
what
gonna raise their
this is
shorts and look
about.
like Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Some of them guys gonna raise their shorts up Despicable Me. Going, yeah. Some of them gonna look toe up. And if they don't like the
Hey,
physique,
man.
they don't like that round, you know, there's another option. You can just sign up and go on the classic. Sign up and go on the 212.
If someone outgrows, you know, his legs,
if you don't like the physique,
he gets opportunities to compete in both categories. That's absolutely
go
possible.
into that classic, yeah.
You know, but yeah, this is I don't know. I don't know. I'm okay with mid-man physique, to be honest.
I'm all right with it. If you like it,
It's been there now for how many years?
10 years or something.
And more than that.
Probably
Hey, so
2011, 12, you know? So listen, I wanted to make a beach body myself, right? This was it. Once you start lifting weights, I want to look good in the beach. Of course, mind you, in Europe, you have a Speedos, you know, beach body means beach body, not beach upper body. Okay? I love those physiques. By all means. Some of
they
those guys
started out like they wanted to look like surfers.
They call it beach upper
What
body.
about those shorts, those Baywatch shorts, the ones that go at the high hip?
So why don't we just bring the beach towel too and cover those other parts? It's beach shorts, you know, and goes on the umbrella.
Bring your umbrella with you.
And mandatory poses lay down because you're supposed to be.
Milos is going off right now.
Hey, man.
I'm gonna
Southwest gonna start charging for
I'm gonna be
bags.
crucified. I don't care. You know, I speak the
Did
truth.
it? I did it.
Truth offense. Then wonder.
I'm trying to change it. Hey, you hear about the?
Change it.
You hear about Southwest gonna start charging for bags now?
I don't do Southwest. I don't know.
But when I go to Arizona, I do Southwest.
I did Southwest one time, and one time only. I thought I was I tell you the truth, because I didn't know. I thought you get your ticket and you get your seat. You stand there like on the bus station. I was at the bus station.
Get any seat.
I said, no. No
Yeah,
Southwest for me.
But if you pre-board, you can get the seats in the front. That's like the first class.
Man, there's musical chairs up in there, boy.
Hey, no, you know what? I flew 2 times. The second time, the way I thought it was the only time was when I came to you, Milos, for the UFC. Yeah. I flew it back in 2000. 2000 when I flew to the Arnold.
On Southwest?
On Southwest.
Holy shit.
I remember, and you know what I remember? I remember facing the wrong direction, had somebody looking right in my face.
No, I hate that.
I swear to God.
That must have been a long time ago.
2000. What is that, 25 years ago?
Time ago. All right. That probably, somebody looking at me.
I swear to God.
It's like a train, isn't it?
It's like you sit opposite from each other.
I flew back from Honor Classic with Jay, and I was all excited. I'm gonna.
Oh, I saw that.
Next day, and I'm gonna talk to Jay. Jay slept like most of the time, like you know. I'm taking the pictures of competitors, and the next thing you know, he's snoring like shit.
Yeah, Milos ready to talk.
Nice talking to you, Jay.
Better get it
in. So Detroit Pro, who's the favorite going into the show?
You have a list?
No.
Yeah, I think Good Vito.
Class.
Good. I know Good Vito. Is he in it?
He's gonna be good there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing Pittsburgh too. He's doing
And
Pittsburgh
I think,
too.
This is one of these guys are gonna.
James. I think James is doing it.
And Carlos Thomas Jr. is doing it, and he's changed coaches.
And that show is coming up. When is that show coming up?
It's on the 28th, is it?
End of this month. So let me. I'm gonna text Fuad and see if he can give me just the names that are already confirmed with him, so we can talk about it maybe next week. You know?
Hassan, you know this Hassan
Mustafa.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
the one from Egypt who lives in Canada now.
I thought he lives in UK.
Yeah, Canada.
Yeah, he moved to Canada like 2 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James Allison is saying that he is entering and he is looking crazy. So he can be the crazy dance condition.
Yeah.
Do you think he was just flat? Just ultimately?
Yeah, he appeared to be flat to me.
Even the glutes and everything looked like it was like.
You know what I was looking at yesterday? I took a screenshot. Let me see if I have it here. This is literally, and I'm going to give this to Curtis to put it in the podcast so people can see it. This is, look at this, guys. This is Wesley last year to this year.
Oh man,
Last year was crazy.
goodness.
Yeah, he was way more popping in the on the left.
If he ain't like that on the left, then
Look at the legs. You see how when he's in shape, how his physique flows better.
Yeah,
This is what he
yeah.
needs. If
He
he's
got to bring that to the ditch. Yeah, he's got to bring that.
If he's not 100%, he's going to have a super hard time, and that's just the way it is. And last
but
year,
it's been like that throughout his career. But then
Yeah.
all of a sudden he nailed a couple of them.
last year he nailed
And
it.
skyrocketed for him,
Yeah.
which I'm glad it did. Everybody needs to skyrocket in their career at some
Boy, is
point.
that Sean Ray behind you, boy?
Behind who?
Oh,
Chris.
Oh,
I
boy.
forgot to ask Mike.
Chris got a
Did
picture
it
behind him
feel-
somewhere.
No, Sean.
Huh?
Are you kidding me?
You
I
forgot
forgot to
to
ask Mike.
Not Sean Ray.
Mike who? Mike what?
Mike Ahsley.
Over there in the
He's
corner.
setting up the boom.
Yeah. How did it feel to take that trophy from Sean? You know, they gave it
Oh,
to
man,
Sean.
come on. Why would you say that?
I want to know.
But you would have really asked him.
The straight
Did he
face.
get the trophy back?
He said with a straight face.
Yeah, they gave it back. He gave it back.
Who, Mike did?
Sean gave it back.
I don't know.
What do you mean? Yeah,
Sean
but
had gave it back.
you wanted to, but he wanted to ask Mike, what did it feel like to get this trophy because he had to give it up?
Oh, he's probably happy. I threw a couple shots at him about it.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. I said a couple.
Well,
of
listen, if they announce this is going to be drug tested, then you shouldn't be on drugs, right?
That part.
right.
Better
That's
get up
right.
off you better get up off that.
For some reason, Sean thought that Winchell was going to be out of his system. Like that's not going to be out of his system.
How,
They messed with him for a long time.
how early did he stop?
Shit, I think he went like for the 21-day type thing, but I personally think like that Winchell was staying in his system.
21 is only 3 weeks, so it should be 4 to 5 weeks. You know, hey, he might have
Hey,
Chris, he might have been a day early
Yeah.
or a day late.
Hey man,
Yeah.
I would have liked to have competed against Mike Ahsley. He ran away from me.
Yeah, you remember though? Which color got that 80 take his money?
I used to love those guys, man. I used to love bodybuilding as far as like, man, I used to read it.
I remember
policy.
him only from magazines. You know, just from magazines. I knew everything about him
Was
and
Sean-
everything. And then when the first time I met him, I don't remember where it was, but he fucking actually acknowledged me, and I was like, fuck.
Like,
You
Ahsley,
know what I'm saying? You know, you get that sometimes when you know guys just from magazines, you never really get to meet them. And when the first time you see them, they look at you and they know who you are. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah. We got a chance to be around him all that time. Milo's in the gym.
Yeah,
Sean
see.
just come in and he told me, one day you're going to try to train with you. Just make sure you go for it, right?
Yeah, that's
So I'm thinking Sean's a little guy. He trains his ass off.
Yeah.
That fool trained so hard in them legs. We were squatting back and forth.
But
And I waited.
that was
I
good for
waited
you
till
guys.
he left, D.
Yeah,
I waited till he left. And I was like, Milos, is he gone? He was like, yeah, that motherfucker gone. I laid my ass out. He goes, man, I didn't want Sean to see me fall out. And then I called Sean. He was coming at 3. I called Sean at 3 o'clock. He's like, yeah, man, you come back to the gym. He goes, oh, no, man, I got a couple of engagements. And he said, Milo said, that fool was tired too. He ain't going to say it.
Yeah.
No,
But
he
was
trained
tired
early in
too.
the morning, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to train.
When I was in high school.
I used to see him. I used to see him at Milos' gym when I trained early. He was always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
But
did-
see,
he did
you guys got to be around everybody. I just had to get him. I had to buy a fucking Flex magazine for $14 every month to see pictures and get stories. And back then, like you said, if you don't know, you think everything they write is true. You know.
Oh, yeah. You was at
You know. You guys.
I won a wrestling tournament at his high school, El Dorado High. And that's when I saw him sitting on the bench. I was like, that's fucking Sean Ray right there. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. See, you guys be around fucking
16.
top pros, and I was around fucking hookers and fucking lady men.
Yeah, lady man, but you had that heavy ass over that gym. That didn't stop you from doing what you did. You had some weights over that damn lady boy. They don't even know how to say black man. They say chocolate man. Hey, chocolate man. They your brother? It is your brother? Chocolate man. Chocolate man, whatever. He said, man, they can't say black over here. They don't know how to say black.
El Dorado School. Hey, that's in Fullerton, right?
What?
Mhm.
El Dorado, that was in Fullerton?
Yeah.
Sounds
Eldorado.
familiar, yeah. I
Yeah.
think exactly
Fullerton.
where
And then you remember Bulldogs Gym.
yeah, but this I remember now that you said it. Sean and I had a seminar at that El Dorado school, and Flex Wheeler came like out of nowhere at 2003. And then after the seminar, he told us, "Okay, guys, I want you to help me get ready for Arnold Classic, which was five weeks out. You know that story." And Sean goes, "Okay, let's see what you look like." And he stripped off, and Sean started dying laughing. He said, like, you're skinny fat. Like, what are you gonna do? All right. 5 weeks out. Hey, 3 weeks later, he competed with Melvin at
I tore his ass up.
Ironman.
you beat him, yeah,
I tore
narrowly.
his ass up.
Yeah. But listen,
How
he
is
did this
how is
TV.
Flex? How is Flex? I haven't heard from him in forever. Anybody see him?
Nah. He
Only on
likes myself
Instagram.
once in a while.
Milos,
thought he was
Milos,
gonna
you're in
come out.
Vegas. You
I thought he
run.
was gonna come out
Yeah,
doing the
I'll
Olympia.
actually ring him up right after. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I haven't seen or heard from him since shit. Damn, since
The Olympia?
since
The Olympia, we was at the Olympia.
no.
See them after
Since
that?
since my last trip to
Why don't
India.
why don't we bring him next week?
Yeah. Let's check on him and see if he's in where he is, what he's doing. Yeah, I gotta give him a call too because
Yeah, reach out to the boy.
I thought he was gonna be at the Olympia.
We always say, "Oh, I haven't heard from him," but if they don't reach out, you don't reach out to them either. Same shit. So if we don't reach out, we never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the list, Detroit?
No. I'm gonna call forward.
get it.
I'm gonna call forward and
Hey,
check
guys, I gotta go. I gotta.
because the list is
Oh,
not
yeah.
out until Monday before. So they still have to they can still have time to register. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna call them and tell them give me the names that are confirmed with you, verbal, and so we can at least talk about something. And I'm gonna do the same for Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh is is probably going to be off the charts. I have a feeling that
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's going to be much bigger than people expected. So,
You think we'll see Derek there?
I don't think it would be a smart move, but I'm sure we see him there. But I don't think he will be competing. That wouldn't be the smartest thing to do. But he will definitely be going to see him there. Everybody's going to be there. I know you guys are going to be there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be there. So it's definitely going to
No,
be
I ain't
off
gonna be
the
there.
charts. $410,000 prize money. Come on now.
A lot of money. Gotta get that
Shit.
money, man. Get that money.
Yeah, Expo.
Yeah,
How much gonna be?
410,000.
400-something thousand.
From what I
Really?
know. Yeah.
Good money. Better go get that money.
Look at Chris. Look at Chris's
Look at
face.
Chris. Like Chris said, well, how about
Can I make it? Can I do it?
you feeling itchy? Your back feeling itchy, boy. You better not get your behind in there. Remember that show?
Yeah.
Don't
Okay,
do it.
traffic cardio tomorrow.
There you go.
Start your cardio tomorrow.
I do mine every day. We should hold us more reliable in cardio. We should call each other. We should have a 3-way call on cardio every morning.
What time?
Look at Milos laughing.
Like what time?
Yeah.
Hey, cardio Spanish for it?
Since now we are back on the same time zone, so we can literally say, okay, let's say 7 a.m. How does that work?
Yeah, very,
Got a client.
very good.
You gotta do it at
Good.
5.
Same
Good.
time, huh?
Huh?
With my
You up
recording,
at 5 o'clock every morning. You talking about 7. You do it for 2 hours. Going to the
7
bathroom.
o'clock.
No, I'm trying to be polite because I know that we have some older people here that sleep a little bit longer.
Yeah, Chris.
And I go to
woke
bed
up at
around
10 this
2
morning.
o'clock.
Yeah,
3 o'clock.
but Milos doesn't sleep until 3 or 4 in the
Milos
morning.
vampire.
You know by him
Milos
posting.
a vampire.
You know, I sometimes when I see his post, I look at him how many hours
Milos
ago.
don't sleep,
How
period.
many hours ago? I wake up at like 5:30 and I see Milos posted 3 hours ago. I was like, God damn, he's still up.
Yeah, you probably saw one of my 17 posts back to back.
I'm telling you, I was like, if we could put a time on how much everybody is spending on social media, I think Milos will beat us by far.
Listen, I have here 3 phones, right? I have
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that on live TV. You shouldn't do that. Someone will get that knock on the
I have
door.
about
Excuse me, what you doing?
40,000 pictures in all, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I log in on this one and I just go, okay, let me go 5 years back and post like 20 photos in the stories, That's what I do.
You have
got too much time on
you
your
have a
hands.
lot. You have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's time consuming, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to be on the.
boss.
It's a fucking 10 minutes.
I gotta
What
go
are
to
you
work.
talking about? Yeah, it's fun. Anyway.
All right, guys, listen, we good.
Be good. I gotta go. I love y'all.
You got to go.
I got a client. Yeah, I got a client.
All right, go ahead.
I gotta go
Get
train
on-
somebody in the
get on
gym.
outta here.
Who can't hear? Hey, Chris, can you sign?
No, I cannot.
Oh,
Okay.
the one that
Remember this.
the one that was on last week.
Yeah,
Watch
remember
it.
this. Okay, remember this.
What does it mean? Shut the fuck up.
What does
No,
that
it says
mean?
all right. I says all right, black motherfucker.
Oh.
I'ma see you. Don't fuck around and die.
Hey,
Don't
can you
fuck
say it
around and
again?
die.
Can you say it again?
This said, look, black motherfucker, fuck around and die.
Hey, this is some.
Oh, man.
All right, guys, you all be safe. I'll see y'all next week. Peace out.